50 variations of oyster cookie. Casual oyster cookie. Wide oyster cookie. Very wide oyster cookie. Extremely wide oyster cookie. Narrow oyster cookie. Very narrow oyster cookie. Mini oyster cookie. Illustration of oyster cookie. Teaser image of oyster cookie. Oyster cookie but real. Oyster cookie but real 2.0. Console of oyster cookie. Fellow elders of oyster cookie. Mansion of oyster cookie. Low quality mansion of oyster cookie. Dark mode low quality mansion of oyster cookie. Trading harbor of oyster cookie. Magazine of oyster cookie. Decor of oyster cookie. Envoy of oyster cookie. Soldier of oyster cookie. Friend of oyster cookie. The cookie that oyster cookie's friend hates. Crest of house oyster. Silhouette of oyster cookie. Happy oyster cookie. Not happy oyster cookie. Smug oyster cookie. Thinking oyster cookie. Laughing oyster cookie. Crying oyster cookie. Spinning oyster cookie. Working oyster cookie. English oyster cookie.
There will be no mercy.
Korean oyster
더
cookie.
이상의 자비는 없습니다.
Japanese oyster cookie.
もはやかける情けはありません。
German oyster cookie.
Es gibt keine Gnade.
French oyster cookie.
Il n'y aura plus aucune pitié.
Taiwanese oyster cookie.
再也不会手下留情了。
Thai oyster cookie.
准备抓你。
Head of oyster cookie. Soulstone of oyster cookie. My summoning circle for oyster cookie. My luxuries for oyster cookie. My crests for oyster cookie. Banner of oyster cookie. I hope it's oyster cookie. This is oyster cookie. This oyster cookie is unlocked now. My resources after upgrading oyster cookie. Which oyster cookie is missing? Type in the comments below.